Wow, you guys. This is JJ, Obama Factor 727. It's a brand new channel, so please make your friends, neighbors, and strangers aware of it. What just happened is I just finished a recording and something cut it off, and I don't know what it was, but something cut it off. I put some pretty important facts out there for you to realize, so I'll try to go through it quickly. I'm going to talk about Benghazi, the Cyprus Bank, Agenda 21, and Obamacare. Now, one of the things I want to share with you about Benghazi, a little update, there's an island called Crete, and within that island we have an American base that we have both Air Force and Army assets that could have been there in 40 to 45 minutes. Our Commander-in-Chief decided to have those assets stand down. They were ready to go, but he said no. And during that night, remember Hillary Clinton and President Obama were listening to what was going on, the attack live. There wasn't a protest that got out of control. There was no videotape that caused this, which he lied about at the UN 2 weeks later, you know, spouting that lie to everybody. Hey, it's because of the video, and, you know, we don't like, you know, we're just, what's the word? Offended. We're just truly offended by people who make videos like this, and there was no video involved whatsoever. It was a lie, a complete lie, propaganda put out by the White House, which he puts out all the time. So anyway, we did have assets in place that we could have fended off this attack, and it was an attack. It was an act of war, and they try to treat it like a criminal case, you know, like they broke the law. Well, they broke international law, and they created, and it was an act of war, which we just decided not to do anything about. So Mrs. Lamb, who was in charge of, you know, allowing people to have more forces on the ground, you know, more Marines, that type of thing, to be assigned to the embassy, said no. Weeks before, when the ambassador requested additional support, she said no. Crazy. But hey, she still has a job. Our ambassador's dead, but hey, she's fine. She's eating. She's fat and happy. You know, literally, she's fat and happy. And so is Mrs. Clinton. She's fat and happy. You know, and they listened to one phone call live while this attack was going on and did nothing about it. In fact, Obama goes to bed. Now, think if you were the president of the United States. Think of that, and that was your brother or sister, mom or dad, you know, in that embassy. I hope you can't hear that background noise, a little motorcycle and bike. But anyway, think of that. What would you do? Would you just take one phone call and say, oh, well, I'm going to call it a night, you guys, good luck, and boom, they're dead, boom. Anyway, we did have assets we could have used, but the Defense Department was told to stand down. So anyway, Cyprus banks, okay, a little bit about Cyprus. They closed the banks because they want to tax everybody 10% to pay their government's debts. So how would you like to live in Cyprus where you couldn't go, where all the ATMs are empty now because everybody freaked out and went to the ATMs and pulled out as much cash as they possibly could? Banks are still closed because the politicians haven't decided whether to tax another additional 10% on checking and savings. So that could happen in America. That really could. Just remember, we are $16 trillion in debt, almost approaching $17 trillion. When Obama went into office, we had $10 trillion in debt, which is still a huge number. By the time Obama gets out of office, we're going to be $20 trillion in debt. He's already going to spend almost $2 trillion in addition to what we're spending now each and every year. When they talk about cutting the spending, they say, I hear it all the time. It drives me absolutely nuts. I throw things at the TV. I throw things. Because these politicians get up there, especially the liberal ones that support Obama, and say, oh, we've cut spending by $1.7 trillion. No, they haven't. They haven't cut anything. They have cut the increase in spending. That's all they've cut. It's just the increase. Okay? So instead of spending, you know, $15, but they were spending $8, they're now only spending, they're going to spend $12. And they call that a cut in spending. And this has been going on since I can remember. I've been a political junkie all my life. And, I mean, this has been going on from Tip O'Neill's time. And when Tip O'Neill was Speaker of the House, this goes way back, I'm dating myself. The Democrats were in control of Congress for 40 years. 40 years straight they controlled Congress and not once balanced the budget. Not once. It's a gimmick, you guys. It's a scam. It's truly a scam. Anyway, let's keep Obama in prayer. He is our president, so we got to back him up with prayer at least, if nothing else. Agenda 21, this is a plan by the UN to move people out of urban areas into high-capacity, high-density properties within the cities. You should look that up. It's being implemented throughout the United States without your knowledge, my knowledge, and but it's being implemented. So check that out. Google it, Bing it, search it. You got to know about it. Last thing I want to talk about is Obamacare. What most people aren't aware of, there's 44 new taxes in Obamacare. 44 new taxes. Pelosi, love it, love it. Let's just pass it. Let's don't read it. Let's pass it and then figure out what's in it. Oh, that's a great representative. You people that voted for Pelosi, shame on you. Shame on you. You voted for a woman who passed. Oh, here's pass this thing without reading. But here's a great tax. Okay, when you sell your house here in California, okay, most houses are worth more than $200,000 in California, the majority. Especially where she's from, up in the San Francisco area, your probably average home is $300,000 to $500,000. You're going to be taxed 3.8% when you sell that home, in addition to the realtor's commission of 6%. Or the realtors might take it in the shorts because the homeowner is going to say, look, I'm going to be taxed at 3.8%. There's no way I'm going to pay additional 6% to have my house sold. Thank you, Mr. Obama. I mean, thank you, Nancy Pelosi. Thank you. You guys should thank them when you sell your home. 3.8%. Really? So that means with a real estate commission, that's 10%. Right around, just a little under 10%. So if you have a $200,000 home, it's going to cost you $20,000 to sell your house. $20,000. Great. Awesome. So that's Obamacare. That's 44 new taxes. I hope you guys appreciate that. What employers are going to do is they're going to cut back hours on most of their employees so they're part-time, so they don't have to provide health insurance. But you, part-time person, are going to have to pay for your own health insurance. You're mandated to do that, so it's going to cost you an additional $2,000 a year on the average. I'm just speaking average. On the average, about $2,000, and the IRS is going to collect that through your 1040, or your tax return. In my previous videos, I gave an example that the Kaiser Foundation did a study on Obamacare, and a combined income of $75,000 between husband and wife, you're taxed at 50%. 50% is your tax rate because of Obamacare. Yeah, good luck with that one, huh? Just to remember, we shipped over some tanks, Abrams tanks, and a squadron of F-16s to Morsi, who is the president in Egypt, who is the Muslim Brotherhood. But the Brotherhood has, one of their platforms is to destroy Israel, to wipe Israel off the map, and now we're giving them tanks and jets to do that with. So we got a crazy administration. Where are our congressmen, and how come they're not? I mean, Rand Paul talked about this. He talked about stopping this, which is good. He's the only one that's been truly vocal that I've heard on the news. Oh, one last thing. iPhone. A little bit about iPhone that I want to tell you about. This is made by Foxconn over in China. Foxconn in China employs over 400,000 people that are slaves. Okay, they get paid less than $5 a day, and they make this. Right? They make this. I mean, this is a corporate phone that's supplied by me. I know if this were my phone, I wouldn't use it, but it's provided by my corporation, so I have to use it. But it's a slave phone. These guys, why aren't they building them here? You know, I mean, you want jobs? Apple, you can build these phones here, but they'd rather pay somebody $5 a day to put this together. Okay? And these people that work at Foxconn, there's 400,000 of them, and you can Google this yourself or Bing it or do an internet search, Fox search it. you'll find that these people are jumping off the top of the buildings trying to kill themselves. And what Foxconn has done to these slaves is put nets around the buildings to prevent them from killing themselves, or falling on somebody else and killing two people. So anyway, I can remember when we used to hate communism, and we did everything in the world to keep China from becoming an industrialized power, which is what they are right now. So we helped them do that. We're all responsible for our Chinese brothers and sisters, and I feel horrible about it. So anyway, this is JJ, the Obama Factor, and Obama Factor 727. Please subscribe. Tell all your friends, neighbors, and strangers about this, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.